2023 is upon us, boys and girls, and it's time to dream big. After I stifle that last leftover turkey burp and toss that old tree out on the snowbank, my thoughts usually turn to figuring out which day of the week it is. But soon after that, I start to ponder what kits I'd like to see in the future. Now I know the rumor mill has been in full rotation for months, and chances are every one of the new 2023 kits have already been announced on the Scalemates, discussed on the Facebooks and the pods, and of course, viciously redlined all over the interwebs. But I'm not going to recap all that. This is a wish list. It's about dreaming big. And as I've said before, we live in the diamond-encrusted platinum age of scale models. Not only can we reasonably wish for the most ridiculous model subject in the most ridiculous scale, we can probably hold out for multiple versions of them. And maybe, just maybe, we'll get 1 or 7 of those wishes within a relatively short while. Except, this isn't always the case, is it? Sometimes it seems that for every new A10 kit we get, we have to endure another dozen BFFW 1090s or Spitfire Mark whatevers, which inevitably leads to many lamenting the existence of huge and unjust gaps in scale model kitdom. And of course, the ever-predictable screams of "wrong scale" by those inexplicably chained to all things 72. My advice? Let's be more zen about kit releases, because this is one of those waves you should enjoy. Oh, and keep dreaming big. I've written Dream Kit List posts on my blog each year starting in 2019. There have been a surprising amount of wins for me. I got my P39, my SR71. It looks like I'm soon to be getting 2 versions of my A10, and I'm going to be getting a big valve from multiple manufacturers. So, yay me. But most importantly, this hobby isn't dying. During the last couple of years, we saw so many excellent kits come our way, and I believe this cornucopia of amazing kits will continue to drown us in excellent new releases for this foreseeable future. So in a way, I guess I should be thankful for what we have and what we're about to get in 2023. But I'm feeling saucy, and I want more. So, here are my 5 most wanted kits in no particular order. The F86 Sabre in 1/48. The Sabre fan base is right up there with those of the Spitfire, the 109, or the Mustang. It's a big fan base. It's a multinational fan base. And it has been a very patient fan base when it comes to models of this iconic fighter. I think the Hasegawa and Academy kits are at the top of the heap. They certainly were the cutting edge in the mid-90s. Despite their aging quirks, they have a strong following, and I've seen some excellent builds of these kits over the years. But there is room for improvement. The Airfix Sabre was released a few years ago, and it had the requisite "looks good in the box" reviews. However, I've seen them side by side, and the Airfix kit really doesn't offer any improvement over the incumbents. I believe the time is right for a new state-of-the-art kit of the Sabre. Just imagine what a new tool or slide molded with razor-thin panel lines. Imagine an entire series of Sabre variants, all with the long and the short and the slatted wings, all with precise intakes and gorgeous cockpits. Of course, I'm always going to be a bit partial to the Canadair Sabres, but no matter what variants are made, this could be a huge opportunity for a new line of kits. A new tool Corsair in 48th. Okay, a few years ago, Tamiya pretty much dropped the mic upon its release of its 32nd scale Corsair. They are perfect kits and are a joy to build. So I'm feeling a little greedy for asking for more Corsair goodness, but hear me out. When it comes to models of the Corsair in 48 scale, Okay, there's actually a lot of choices, but it really boils down to this. Tamiya for the early variants and Hasegawa for the late ones. And there are well-known build issues with these mid-90s kits. And yeah, they can be fixed, but just imagine that 32nd scale Tamiya Corsair scaled down to 48th. You know, that right there would be kit of the year kind of stuff. And if Tamiya is really not interested, well, I tells you, Eduard has more than proven it can make some nice Pacific War fighter plane kits. Just saying. Japanese twins. Those 72nd scale zealots make me very jealous whenever they bring up their experience with Japanese twin engined airplanes. It isn't like there's nothing in 48th. I've built the Tamiya Gecko and the Tamiya Betty, and both were great. I recommend them to everyone. The problem is that I want more. I think the Sally, Peggy, Nell, and the Francis would be incredibly popular 48 scale releases. These are not huge airplanes. And the paint schemes. Oh, the variety. So much fun. And for those who like weathering and chipping and scratching, well, these would be the bee's knees. Oh, this just in. As I'm writing this, ICM has announced a 148 scale Sally. Nice. Very nice. A 172nd scale PB4Y2 Privateer. I'm a solid ho-hum on all things Liberator, but I'm a big fan of this single-fin variant. I first ran into it at the Pima Air and Space Museum in 2018, and at the time, I'd thought that all cool tricolored Navy planes were strictly in the small fighters and maybe the odd dual realm, but this big old thing fascinated me. I was all over it. I simply had to have one. Until I found out that getting one is not very easy. Now, at one time, I wanted a new tool 48 scale model of the Privateer, but after building the 48 scale SR-71, I have come to appreciate the smaller scale for larger subjects. And I'm also aware of some resin conversions for the Revelogram Liberator, but, well, yeah, no. I have a strong feeling these garage conversions will only lead to 4 pounds of resin dust, wonky, warpy, pitted parts, and ultimately regret. So this past summer, I picked up the Matchbox 72nd scale Privateer at a swap meet, and I got it at a very reasonable price. But this model is as old as I am, and it's got some warts, but I tell you, it's the right size. I'm actually tempted to start it because we all know as soon as you finish some kit of some old airplane, a new version is announced. A 48 scale U2R or S, but I could be talked into a 72nd. The Testolari kits of the late variant U2s are readily available for very reasonable prices. However, these kits are over 30 years old, they've got raised panel lines, and they sure need a lot of TLC for a nice build. It also seems that every aftermarket goodie for these old clunkers is long out of production. On the opposite end of the spectrum are the unicorn-like special hobby kits that command unicorn prices when they can be found. The last one I saw had a $250 price tag on it. And I've never actually seen the kit, so I can't comment on whether it's worth $250, but my thinking is no. But if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. Anyway, just look at this brute. It's got all sort of things hanging off of it or bolted onto it or sticking out of it. It looks mean, and mean things need to be built. Most recently, AFV Club brought us a few of the early U2s, and from what I understand, they are nice models. However, the early versions of the U2s are very much different and very much smaller than the later ones. So, that's my list. I'd like to hear from you. What would you like to see? No matter what, I'm wishing everyone a happy, healthy, and fun 2023. I'm looking forward to a fantastic year. And hey, if just one of these wishes is granted, and as I told you, one of them just has been, well, it would be some nice icing for the cake. Wish lists are subjective, and chances are that for one of my must-haves, it might be one of your mehs. But I'd like to know what you'd think. Did you like any of my top 5? What would you add? Or did I miss any major ones? Let me know in the comments.